turn up. Now you can share your screen again.
Okay.
Okay. So what I was explaining here, is that when you see that timeout issue with when you are working on a project, right? Or you are deploying an application, that usually happens when there is like a issue with either your VPC or your security group. So timeout request means that request timeout just means that the traffic is not getting to your server. So it will keep spinning, and eventually it will say timeout. So when your auto scaling group here is saying request timeout, the first thing I would look if I get this is I would check my security groups. Okay. So we can start from there. So first, let's fix your Route 53 issue.
Yes.
Then we would look at this after.
On Visual Studio Code.
Yes, in your yeah. So here, before we run your Route 53, also I'm looking at your NAT gateway. It seems like there's probably an error in there as well. So let's open that your NAT gateway. All right. So it is saying, okay, so I know what that is. In my code, I need to update that reference. I need to update that reference. It would work, but Terraform has just updated it, and I'm pointing to line 4 and 14, where we have VPC for the NAT gateway. So can you open Google and let's go to the Terraform documentation, and I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
All right. So once you're on Google, type Elastic IP, type EIP, Terraform, AWS Terraform or something, or Terraform AWS, anyone. There you go. All right, select that first one from the Terraform documentation. All right, so in Terraform documentation, this is the Terraform documentation for Elastic IP. And if you scroll down, you can see for the argument where we have VPC, this is something they just changed. Now they have it as domain. Did you see where it says like the single? Yeah, right there, right? So before it used to be VPC how we had it, but now they want it to be domain. So copy that domain equals VPC part. Yeah. And replace your code with that part. And so line 4 and 14. So there is there you go. Okay. So there is a, so where you're on line 4, remove that indentation over there before the domain. There you go. Okay, I believe you should be fine now, so save it. Okay. So another thing I like to do is, remember what I said with like when you are naming your file, it's really not a big deal, but you see how you have your NAT gateway stuff like that, like in 2 words. So I would always like, I would say anytime you have something that's like double words, I mean, it's probably just me being picky, but it's always good to get in the habit of like using either hyphen or underscore. So it will just help you get in the habit of naming things, and don't mix uppercase with lowercase. Either we want to go all the way uppercase, it's better to use lowercase. Yeah.
Okay.
So something like that would be good. Okay. So I'm not, okay, it went away because I was worried. I was like, why isn't your yellow thing clearing? But it went away. Cool. So now we have those two done. Let's run your Terraform plan and see what we get. Then we can.
For the NAT gateway?
Oh, no. So for your code in general. So we fixed so when you run your code in the terminal it is saying like in Route 53 that the record exists. We deleted it already, right? So
Yes.
now, so I'm saying run your Terraform plan again.
Okay,
So,
on
yeah. So when you run your Terraform plan, it is running it against all your codes that you have already written that you can see in all the files. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
You've created all the resources. Those are the ones, your ALB, your ASG, NAT gateway and stuff. So when you run your Terraform plan, it is running it against all the stuff, all the resources you've specified in those files.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So apply, type yes.
And I know it's not on the subject, but on the WordPress project, I did send you a message when I run the website saying install Apache. So I don't know if I made a mistake on that one as well.
Okay, it is saying install Apache when
Yes, when I open the website.
okay. So that means you probably didn't, did you run all the commands that I provided to you? It means that one of those commands, specifically if it is saying install Apache, means that you didn't install it on your server. So
Yeah, I think I made a mistake.
yeah, so there must have been an error there somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, so now your A record is there. So try to access your site and let's see. It's probably still going to give you that error because your record said your target group are unhealthy. So we need to look at why they are unhealthy. Okay, you see how it is spinning and it keeps spinning and it keeps spinning. Eventually, it is going to time out. So that means there is an issue with your security group or something in your VPC. So let's look at your security group file. So we can look at it from the console, then that way we will know what to change in Terraform.
Okay.
So select security groups. Then filter. Are you on the EC2? Yeah, you're on the EC2. I like to review the security groups from VPC. So in that search box, type VPC, go to the VPC service, the one above it.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
VPC.
Then first filter it by your VPC. Is that the VPC, the WordPress, I mean, not WordPress, the Terraform code created?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then go scroll down to security groups. And so you have your ALB. Let's start with the ALB and we'll review everything. So click, no, well, that's fine. So you can just check the box and we can review it. But this is fine as well. So scroll to the right. Let me see the rule you have on it. No, scroll down where you have it, then scroll to the right. Yeah. So this is 80 and 443. And from anywhere, that is fine. Scroll back to the left. Let me see. TCP. Okay, cool. So let's check your outbound rules. On the same page, there you see the next tab that says outbound. You have your inbound there and you have outbound. Okay, all traffic. Scroll to the right. Okay, that is good. So now let's review the second one. So when you are on this page, just check the box next to it. Make sure you still filter by your VPC. Okay. Check the box next to the name. So that way we can, and it should, well, it's because of your screen. It's showing at the bottom, but we can do it the same way we've been doing it. So let's review the web server one. Yeah. Okay. Scroll to the right. So 80 and 443. Okay. Skip scrolling. So you see where it between source and description, the line between source and description, drag it out so we can see the full name of that security group. So you see that line? Yeah, there you go. Okay, from your ALB. Yeah, so I found one error. So you see over there, how do I explain it? So it will be better if I have a reference architecture. I'm going to share and explain it to you. Then I will show you where the error is in your code. Just a second, let me open the reference architecture. Okay, so that's a second. Need to share my screen. All right, so this is the reference architecture for the project, right? So what is happening is so for me, when I was learning, I always try to understand everything from the concept. So if you understand the concept, you'll be able to troubleshoot whatever issues you are facing and you'll be able to figure out the rest. So the main thing for me when I was learning is just first understanding what's going on. So remember, we checked the security group for the application load balancer first, right? Which is this one, right? So that we have traffic on port 80 and 443. So that is this here, right? And you can kind of see the lines on the reference architecture is showing us that when people are accessing our site, which is when you copy your domain name and you paste it in Google, in the web browser, that is you trying to access your application, right? That you are accessing it on port 80 and 443. So that is that first one. And when we review the security group, everything is fine. So now this is your web server here. So the next one we are reviewing now is your web server security group, right? And on that one, we are saying when traffic is coming from port 80 and port 443, those traffic would go to the load balancer. And the load balancer is now going to forward the traffic to the web server. So essentially, people that are trying to access our application, you won't be able to access it directly here. You have to go through the load balancer. Then the load balancer is going to forward your request to the server. So that is why on the server, we are saying we would allow traffic on port 80, right? And port 443. or whatever. I'm typing this with my mouse, so excuse my horrible drawing. So port 80 and will only allow the web server here will only allow traffic on port 80 and port 443 if it is coming from the load balancer. So that is why when we open the port for the web server, we have to, in the source, we are saying the source is coming from the application load balancer security group. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay. So now, let me clear this. Now share your screen and I'll show you where your error is. Clear drawing. Let me stop sharing. Okay, so this is your web server security group, which is allowing traffic on port 80 and port 443. Remember we said we're only going to allow traffic on port 80 and port 443 if they are coming from the application load balancer. Yes. So you can see on that port range here, you have 80 and 443. So now I want you to scroll to the right. Okay, you're already there. So you can see under your source, do you see the difference?
Yes. So should it be both ALB security group?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because that is where you are going to be allowing the traffic from. So that is why when you try to access your site, you saw that it kept spinning and eventually it said it's going to say timeout because for the 443, which is the main way you're going to be accessing your site because that is the encrypted version. Right now you have it. The source is not set to your load balancer. It's set to your security group, which is probably a typo you have in your code that did that. So that's where the issue you are currently facing is at. So let's go to your Terraform code and review your security group. Then we can change it. Okay. So for your web server security group, so scroll down. So you can see over there where you have your port 80 traffic on line 75. And the source is, you can see the source is on your ALB security group ID. That is fine. That is exactly what you want. So now scroll down to line 83. So on 83, you can see where the error is, right?
Yeah.
So you are on line 83, you are saying the source is from your SSH security group ID, which it should be your application load balancer security group ID. Okay, now save your work and run. I don't, are you, for your auto scaling group, or are you using like your snapshot from the previous project? For your autos? So go to your, I mean, not the snapshot, like your AMI from the previous project, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So run Terraform apply and let's see what we get. Sometimes you may have to, I don't think you would have to delete all your resources and recreate it again, but let's run Terraform apply and see. If not, we would have to run Terraform destroy, remove everything and reapply. So it should work after that. type yes. Okay, so that is done. Now let's review your target group. So that is in the you are in the VPC now. So you have to go to the EC2. Yeah. So it's still, sometimes it takes time for it to refresh your entire page. I see. It might take time, so that's why when we updated it, it only did the security group because that's what we changed. So run Terraform destroy just to remove everything, then we'll run Terraform apply again.
Should I copy everything?
I don't understand what you mean.
Like when we're doing the security group again, that
Oh
way.
no, so the security group is already applied the way you, so you should just run Terraform destroy in the terminal. It would delete all your resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then when you run Terraform apply, it will recreate it. That's the beauty of Terraform. Whatever you've specified in those files,
Mm-hmm.
when you run Terraform apply, it creates them. When you run Terraform destroy, it deletes them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. So while that is going on, let me see your auto-scaling group file, your ASG. No, in your Terraform code, yeah. Okay, so your launch template, scroll up. Okay, that's your launch template. Oh, okay, AMI ID. Okay, I see. Then what about your RDS? Let me see your RDS. Okay, yes, you are using your snapshot. Fine. So we just have to wait for this to finish removing your resources. Then we'll recreate it. And I believe everything should work. Yeah, it takes time removing the RDS instance. So
Yes.
so let me ask, so for the WordPress project,
Mm-hmm.
when you launch your EC2 instance, are you using the Amazon Linux 2 AMI or are you using the 2023 AMI?
I I did switch to Amazon Linux too. The first time I was using the Amazon Linux 3.
Yeah. So that project is, the commands we are running on that project is based on Amazon Linux 2. So
Okay.
if you use the 2023, there is a good chance that some of the commands may not run successfully because when you have different different type of EC2 instance.
Mm-hmm.
The repositories that those EC2 instance downloads whatever package you are trying to install from may be different. So let's say we run a command that is specifically to Linux 2 to download a package from a repository. Linux 3 might be downloading the same package from a different repository. Does that make sense? So the commands we run for the WordPress as of now is based on Linux 2. But I am working on updating it. So in the next couple of weeks, so everything should be updated, and I would also update the commands for Linux 2023. But for now, when you are completing the project, just use Linux 2 AMI.
Okay. And should I destroy, like, erase everything and do everything back up, or?
We can look at what you've already done so far. Since
Yes.
you still have it up, so what we will do is we will remove your setup server and launch it, then we'll run the commands, then we'll see what's going on.
So
So is this the WordPress one?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's terminate that setup server. And so you were, let's also delete your Elastic file system, then we'll create it again. Okay. So create a new one. So I think you can now click customize. Okay. So give it a name. And scroll down. Yeah, so I can leave out this option as default. Scroll down. Scroll down. Additional settings. Yeah, so scroll down and just click, I think there will be like a next button. Okay, so here you select your VPC. Okay, is that the VPC you're using for the WordPress project?
Yes.
Okay, now select your subnet in your data subnet.
The easy one.
Yeah, so that's the first availability zone. Yeah, that one. And data subnet is it too. Correct. Then select your security group for the EFS. Okay. Click next. Yeah, just click next over here. And scroll down. And scroll all the way down and click create. Okay. So let's look at your WordPress, your Terraform project. See if that has finished deleting. Okay, cool. So now run Terraform apply again. Yes. Okay. So that might also take a while for it to finish creating your resource. So you can jump back and forth. So we'll wait for this. So we created your EFS. So now launch your setup server again. So remember, it's going to be Amazon Linux 2. And select your key pair. Okay. And your VPC. That's going to be your public subnet. So any of your public subnets should be fine. I think that one, you're going to select your web server security group, your SSH security group, and your ALB security group. And the ALB. Okay. All right. Scroll down. I think that's all we need. Click launch. You can, if you select instances, or you can select your EC2 dashboard. You see where it says EC2 dashboard under your, okay, that takes you to it. Then select instances running. That will just help you see just the ones you have running. Okay. Which one did you just launch the setup server? That one. Okay. So let's open SSH into it. So before you, on your EC2, you are missing the @ symbol.
Oh,
So when you pasted your IP, you didn't put the @ symbol there. So that has some type of security group issue because it should log you, or maybe it's slow. I don't know. Okay, so you see the timeout again. That's like a security group issue. So we have to go into your security groups. And where's the SSH security group for this that you are using? So it's good to always filter it from the VPC, so that way you only see the security group. And I'm not sure, maybe. Yeah, so you can select the server, this your setup server. Select the SSH security group. Scroll to the right under the inbound rule. Yeah, keep scrolling. So click edit inbound rule right there. And under that source, select the drop down and select my IP. No, not there. That one is fine, not there. The second one, yeah. See, your IP did change. Sometimes the IP always change. So if you have issue SSHing, if you have issue connecting, if you have issue connecting to your EC2 instance, then make sure you come here and check whether that IP has changed. Sometimes it changes. So click save rule and you should be able to SSH into it now. There you go. All right. So now let's prepare your command to run, the one for your WordPress project. So copy. So click that box next to the row to copy it. So you see the box over there.
that one.
Yeah. So Paste, copy, yeah, click that box, that will copy the content of the file. Then open my Visual Studio Code is always good. So in your Visual Studio Code. So that is done applying, but we will check that later. So double click, you see where you have your variables file name at the top of this of your screen over there. Not that one, but the other one. So you see at the top, those tabs you have at the top.
This one?
No, move your mouse to the right. So you see those tabs that says Route 53 security group, where you can close each files you have open. Yes, that one. So close those files for now.
Okay.
So the same, put your mouse in there. So in that screen, if you double click in there, we're just going to create a file and paste it. So double click in there. No, it's a left click. There you go. Then paste what you copied in there. Just right click and don't put your mouse there. Just move your mouse down and paste. Right click and paste. Cool. So first we want to update your EFS information so we can start running the command. And also copy everything, not that part. So you only want to copy the EFS to the .com, the FS to the .com. Okay. So now we can run this first command. I think you just left click. If you left click, it will paste it for you.
Yeah, I did left click, but it's
Try right. Maybe it's right. Okay. So press enter a couple of times, then copy your commands again. There you go. So once that's done running, now type df, type df. So the first, well, you already know the sudo, you change to root and you update your EC2 instance. Then the last command you ran on that first list of commands you ran is to mount your EFS. So now anytime you do something, you want to check whether whatever you just did worked correctly. So now that we mounted our EFS to the HTML directory, right? We want to check whether that actually the command ran successfully. It did run successfully, but it's always good to verify. So the command is df space -h. So that is how you check which file system are mounted. So press enter. So if you drag this out a little bit, so you can see that it did get mounted over there. So you see the last one that has your elastic file system name, and you can see where it is mounted to, the HTML. Do you see the word I'm referring to?
yes, that part.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So you always want to check that. That's very important. Then you can continue running the rest of your command. Press enter. Okay. Press enter. Yeah. And run the next one.
That's how I make mistakes sometimes because it just froze for like a few minutes or
Yeah.
a few seconds.
So let me explain something, right? Anytime you run a command, you see, go back to your terminal. Anytime you see that green stuff, the green thing where that is showing you where you should paste your command. That is called I think it's your command prompt or shell prompt, right? Right?
Yes.
Just a second, sorry. So what happens is when you run a command, while your command is running, that prompt will not be available. So when you run your WordPress to install your WordPress, so what is happening is it first download the zip file for WordPress, then it unzips it and it is copying all the files from the WordPress folder that it downloaded into your HTML directory. If there is a bunch of files in there that it has to copy, it takes time to copy them. So that is why it will look like your screen froze, but it is actually, that's not the case. It's just copying all your files. So anytime you run, what I'm trying to say is anytime you run a command, you want to wait till that shell prompt is available again, where you see your IP EC2 user and that green thing. So that means you are ready to run the next command. So while that is working, don't close your terminal or don't run another command on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I made a mistake. I was working on the
So you already ran that command.
oh,
So yeah.
okay.
So you need to be on 7.
When I was working on the Docker,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Docker project, I mistake. I closed the terminal by mistake, so I didn't know
Yeah.
how to basically get back on
So
track.
yeah. So this is going to so I hope I've been using VI so long I don't remember the nano one. So but you can run this, but I'll try to. Do you remember the commands to exit this nano after we run it? It's been because I started using nano, but I use VI, but it's okay. You can press enter. I'll look in my notes. Okay, so here we are just editing this file, right?
Yes.
So we need to go down. Well, it is there, the command too. So you want to update your database name over there.
Let's hope I didn't delete them. I think I did.
You deleted your RDS.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I think I did. I didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't. Thank God I did not.
So for the sake of this project, so you don't get confused, it is best to finish one project, delete everything, then before you start the next one. And I also recommend that if you get stuck on a project, rather than leaving that project and starting another one, it is best to finish that project, figure out what you are having issues with on that project, because a lot of all the projects are depending on each other. So the knowledge you will gain from one project is the same knowledge you will use on the next one. So if you're having an issue in one project, it's likely you're going to have the same issue in the next one if you don't resolve it. So, so are you sure this is the same RDS instance for the WordPress? Because it looks like it's the same one you are using for the Terraform project. So let's just create a new RDS instance.
Let me see. I think that one is the one I was working on because it says Dev VPC.
Okay. Okay. So this RDS instance is the one for a WordPress project. Can you go in your Terraform code and see what the name you gave? So your RDS, it will be in your variables file. So go in your variables file. Scroll up. Wherever you have your instance identifier. Stop right there. Instance identifier, yeah, you called it 1. And that is also not going to, well, okay, so you called it 1. So the 1 is actually the one you are using in your Terraform project, not the regular one. Okay.
Yes.
All right, cool. So, okay, so if you're sure that is the one you are using for your WordPress, we can use it, but I just want you to be sure.
So for the database name, I should copy that one.
No, that's not the database name. So,
Um,
so go under configuration. Your database name will be there. So not that one. That's your database in your instance name, your RDS instance name. So the one that says DB name, the first time I worked on this WordPress project, I was using that same name you were about to use, the DB instance name. And I was stuck on this project for about 2 weeks, trying to figure out why it wasn't working. But it turns out I was using the wrong name. So So yeah, it should be that one. Then replace your DB name. So you can't click in there. You have to move your mouse, then press backspace. So move your mouse one more time. Yeah, there you go. And paste there. All right. So the next one is your username. You will also find that in your configuration.
So it's been a while since I've done.
Okay, so go down. So do you remember your password?
I think I saved it.
Okay,
So
because
let me.
I told you to save it. So because if you don't remember, you won't be able to log in.
Yeah.
You would have to, yeah.
Wait. No, it's not moving.
So when I'm working on the project, I always use, okay, good. I always use my name and 123. So that way, in case if I don't remember, it's always that. So you found it, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Oh, text hunter. So yeah, I stopped using nano and I started using VI. So it's like I don't remember the nano command anymore. So it's Control X. Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So we still have one more thing to change your endpoint. So that would be where it says DB host. So go down to DB host and change that local host to your RDS endpoint. Okay, that's all the things we need to change. So now press Control X, then Y for yes, and enter. There you go. So now you can continue running the rest of your command. I think, yeah, it was in that one. So the first file, so you see the first file, close your variables.tf file, then you'll see it, your commands. So this is your Terraform code. This is not what we're working with. So close your variables.tf file. Remember those tabs up there that I told you to close earlier?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. So now you need to run the last one. You already ran that one, so you need to run.
And click on enter.
Yes. Okay. So now go to your EC2, then try to access your site.
But okay, it's working. Slow, but
that may also be your security group thing. So so let's review your security groups again for this project. So because you may have accidentally because you have two projects going on, I think when you create an EC2 instance, AWS will just show you all the security groups you have. And you may be selecting a security group for the other project. So select that where you pasted it, let's see. No, what is that other one? What are you saying in that one? So where did you paste?
I think that's the website. I don't know if that's the one.
So so close that tab. Like, can you open like do you have Chrome on your computer, or you can open like incognito on that one on your web
Yeah,
browser, and let's try it in there.
I got Chrome right there.
Okay, sure. Let's try it in Chrome. So response took too long, right? So I think there's an issue with your security group. So we have to review your security group. So that's your setup server. Let's start with the SSH is fine. So let's review the web server one. So from the ALB security group, which is the same. Okay, that is fine. So CE. So what about your outbound? So let's review your outbound role. Okay. So now let's review your ALB. Okay. Then what about your outbound rules? No traffic. So I think the issue is you are using the wrong security group for because you have two projects, and they might be, because I say you have web server security group, and you have another one that says two. So first, let's check where your VPC is. The VPC for your setup server.
Oh, I think I'm using the default one, the right one.
Oh, your setup server is in the default VPC?
No, it was loading. That's why I said that.
Oh, okay. All right. So so it says your dev VPC. So scroll up here. Okay, your dev VPC. Select that VPC ID to go into it. So it's the one that says dev VPC with all capital letters. All right. Filter by your VPC. Okay. So now scroll down to security groups. Okay. So you have your web server security group, database security. Yeah. So your web server security group ends in 1526. 1526. And your load balancer. Okay. So we need to make sure that, hold on, I'll take a screenshot, then I will tell you to go through it. Just a second. Okay. So now go to let's review the security groups for your EC2 instance. Let's start there, your web server. So now go to your EC2 instance and let's review it from there. I want to see the one that is attached to it because I'm trying to verify if we are using the right security group. So security, okay. Okay, that's fine. So the
web server one?
So your web server security group that was in that VPC ends in 152C. Yeah, that is correct. Then your SSH is A60, that's correct. And your load balancer is 63CE. Okay, that is correct. So select that web server one. And traffic on. So scroll to the right. Okay, keep scrolling to the right. Okay, a load balancer, and that is right. So your security groups look right. Let's review your VPC in general. So go to your VPC dashboard again. And select your VPC. Select your VPCs and select your VPC from there, the dev VPC. So check that box next to it. And click resource map, the tab resource map. Drag that up, let me see. Yeah, can you drag it up a little bit more? It's just, that's the best you can do.
I think that's the best. It allows me
Okay.
to do.
Okay, so that's fine. So scroll down in there. No, scroll down, and I mean scroll up a little bit so I can see the starting point. Okay, so here, select. So you have a route. So select that public route table. On that route table, select that public route table.
That one?
Mm-hmm. So that is okay. So that is routing traffic to. Scroll down a little bit so I can see the other one. Okay, that's routing traffic to your public subnet EZ1 and EZ2. Now drag it to the right so we can see the other thing that is there. So there should be a line. Maybe if you scroll down, it will let you go all the way to the right. So go all the way to the right. So there should be something all the way to the right to see it. So scroll down here. There, you see it, that's it. All right, scroll up. Yeah, that is perfect. So scroll back up. So that is, yeah, that's fine. So that is so click that public route table again. So that's going to your dev internet gateway. Cool. Now click on the private route table easy one. So that's routing traffic to data easy one. Okay, cool. Now do the private route table easy two. Okay. So yeah, that looks right. Can you paste that your IP, your setup server IP in the chat? I wanted to see if I can access your site. The only other thing I can think about is that your RDS, if maybe there's a disconnection there, but paste your IP for your setup server. I want to see if I can access it from here.
Okay. Oh, you said my RDS IP?
Oh no, your setup server's IP.
Okay.
The one, your EC2 instance, the one we used to. If not, I just think the issue is probably somewhere in your VPC or your network somewhere. But I have a solution for that. We probably just delete everything, but I have a template that can recreate your VPC and RDS and all those things. Then we'll just run your commands again and see what we get. So, so select your setup server, copy your IP address, and send it to me.
So the thing is, I'm using Starlink connection. I don't know if that's an issue.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to test if I can access it. So did you send it to me?
Yes, I sent it on
Oh,
the
okay.
chat.
I'm not sure I can. Yeah, usually I don't get notification. Why can't I see? Oh, okay, I see. So it's just loading, right? So that has to
Yeah.
do with your network. That has to do with like the network, like this security group. So what is this thing I'm getting? Because it's not giving an error. It's giving me the same page that you getting.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Maybe that's relating to. Yeah, it's giving me the same page. So that's not an error. It works, right? So have you installed? Oh, you know what I think it is? You've installed WordPress on that RDS instance before. So now that we are
Yes.
connecting it, this is whatever you already did on it. So
Mm-hmm.
in order to do everything over, we have to use a brand new RDS instance.
Okay.
So all is not lost. The idea I have is let's delete the RDS instance you have. Then we'll create a new RDS instance. Then we'll just reconfigure your connection to the RDS instance and restart and see what we get. And if not, yeah. So because whatever you did before, that's what we are saying.
So delete that one.
Mm-hmm. So wait, what is it saying? Let me see. Cannot create. So don't create a snapshot. So click. Oh, because you already it's saying that you have a snapshot with the same name. So we don't need a snapshot for this, just uncheck that box. So yeah, uncheck that one and uncheck the first one too that says create final snapshot. Okay, so now acknowledge and delete. All right, so that we don't have to wait for that to be deleted. So click create database. Yeah, so scroll down on MySQL. So can you go to your command? Let me see what version of MySQL we're using for that project. So we can select the right one. So that command you run in Visual Studio Code or the GitHub, anyone is fine. Scroll down. So we MySQL 5.7. So make sure that's the one you select. So select whatever the latest one of 5.7 is. So keep scrolling down. Yeah, the last one over there. All right. You can do the free tier one. Click on free tier. Okay. I'll scroll up a little bit. I want to say something. Keep scrolling up. Okay, maybe we just haven't got there. Keep scrolling up. Okay, here, engine version. Okay, that's fine. Scroll down. We probably haven't got there yet. So I was looking for where you have to select your DB instance type, but keep scrolling down and enter your instance identifier name. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So yeah, check that and select that drop down. You should see the T2 up there. Okay, let's scroll down. So all this stays default. Scroll down. Okay. Yeah, this stays the same. Select your VPC. Okay, keep scrolling down. Choose an existing security group. Yeah, select your database security group. Okay. Availability zone don't really matter, but if you want to, you can choose any one of your availability zone. That's fine. All right. So this is default. Scroll down. Keep scrolling down. So under additional configuration, give your database a name. I think we call the application DB. So and yep, that's it. All the way down, create database. Okay. So while that one is creating, because it'll take about 7 minutes, close. And make sure you save your password. So make sure you remember your password and save it. Okay. So while you are just creating, let's look at your Terraform project. So that was done. So try to access your site for that Terraform one.
So fetch with oh yeah, I have to go
Go to open a new web browser and type your then copy your domain name and paste it there.
it's taking too long.
Yeah.
Can you hold on a second? We might lose connection.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
What happened to Alex?
I think his connection probably dropped. Maybe
Oh,
maybe he's resetting his Wi-Fi or something.
okay. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm fine. Happy New Year to you too. How have you been?
I've, a little downhearted, but other than that, I'm fine.
Hope all is well. Are you still working on your project?
Yeah, I've slowed down. My elder brother passed away, and then my auntie passed, so those threw me off a little.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm getting back on track. And then when they pass away back home, it's it's expensive.
Mhm.
Everyone expects you to take care of the burden
Yeah, I understand.
from this side, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get back on track with the projects.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wanted to actually introduce you to a young man that I've been interacting with. His name is Joseph. He's in Canada, and he's
Okay.
been very instrumental. He has a platform, and I wanted to introduce you to him. But we'll talk about that when Alex is done with his session.
Okay, sure. Sure.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Alex. I think you're muted.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. So, you can share your screen. Oh, I think I'm sharing. So,
So,
okay. So we need to check your target group. Scroll down. So is this the refresh on this page? All right. Scroll down. Let's see why your target groups are unhealthy. So scroll to the. So you see the line there, drag that line out, let's say. So 500. So that just means anything. So are you sure the snapshot you are using and um, are you sure the AMI you are using and the snapshot you are using for your RDS, when you did it in the previous project, did they work?
the thing is, I did not do a project that utilized the AMI. I haven't done to that point
Yeah.
yet.
So that's why you won't see your site here, because remember what I said, the Terraform project, the one in particular you are working on, is a two parts project. First, you deploy the application in the management console. Then once you have done that, then you now deploy the application with Terraform. So when we deploy the application in the management console, at the end, when we are cleaning up, we create an AMI or from our EC2 instance, and we created a snapshot of our RDS instance. Those are the two things we are using in this project. So if you don't have that, it makes sense why your website won't work. So your Terraform code is fine the way it is. So what I'll say is you can go back and complete that project in the management console. Then
Which
you will create your AMI and your snapshots. Then you can update that in your Terraform code. So go to your Terraform code. I'll show you where you can update it. So in your Terraform code, in your variables file, so open your variables file. In your variables file, once you finish that project and you have your snapshot, you will update line 52, right? The ARN of your snapshot. Yeah. Then scroll down or scroll up wherever your AMI is. It's probably down. Let's see. Yeah, keep going down. Yeah. So on line 99. So that's the AMI you will use once you create it in that project. But I'm updating the course where you won't have to. I'm updating the course so each course will be independent of each other. But whether the courses are independent of each other or not, I still always recommend that you understand how to deploy the application in the management console first. That will only help you to be able to deploy it in Terraform.
The thing is, I know I didn't do the AMI on my last project, but I created one.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. So the purpose of the AMI is, right? The purpose of the AMI is, you see when we launch our setup server, right? And
Yes.
we run all those commands to install our application on it, right? So at that point, your application is already installed and configured on the EC2 instance. You can use that EC2 instance to create an AMI. Then when you use the AMI you create to launch another EC2 instance, your website will already be configured on it. So that way you don't have to keep running those commands every single time to install your website. Does that make sense?
I'm starting to get it. But the thing is, I did the AMI on the setup server I'm doing on that I'm doing for the WordPress. Thinking it will be okay.
Oh no, it wouldn't be because they are different applications.
Okay.
Right? Think about it. Like think about it, right? If you installed, let's say I have two computers and I'm just referring to the same computer you are using at home right now. I have two computers, right? On one computer I install Microsoft Words, and on the other computer I install PowerPoint, not PowerPoint, like PDF, right? Or Adobe or something, right? Those two computers are different. Whatever you install on them are different from each other. That's the same way your EC2 instance and your application works. The code that are required to run WordPress is different from the code that is required to run the application we are deploying with the Terraform code, right? So there are two different applications. So you can't use one code from one for the other one. It's not going to work. What makes sense is from the EC2 standpoint, because you provided an AMI ID, the AMI will allow you to create the resource in AWS, but the application you configured on it is not going to work. So that's why we can't access your site.
And which website, which project that I should work on before I can do the Terraform one?
Go back to your library. So it will be, scroll down one more. It will be that one. The deploy dynamic website. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so for the WordPress.
So that's the one we're working on now. So let's look at your RDS. Once your RDS is done, then we'll try to reconfigure your file, and you should be able to. Okay, it's done. So that's the one you created, right? The RDS instance. Okay. So now in your PuTTY session, let's reconfigure a timed URL. So close it and open it back and SSH into your setup server. Then we will try to Perfect. So let's see your commands. Make directory. So we won't run any of this because we already installed your WordPress on your so scroll all the way down. So you're going to run command on 48, on line 48. So we just want to edit your WP config file. All right. So now scroll down. So did you use the same name for your database name? I think you did, but just verify that it's the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about your username and your password? But I know your endpoint name will change. Your endpoint is going to change. So is your username and password the same? Let's see. That works. So you can't delete it that way. You remember you have to move your green thing down there, then press backspace. So press down.
I think
Did you accidentally delete something?
I think so.
Okay, so let's exit the file. So press Control X, then press N for no. All right, then if you want to run the command you already ran before on your EC2 instance, if you press the up key, it will bring back the up, like the arrow, the arrow keys on your computer. If you press the one that is the up one, the up arrow key, there you go. Then that'll show you the last command you ran. Okay, so go down. So move the green stuff over there, then delete your endpoint. And that's all you need to do. Then press Control X again. Y. Enter. Oh, I know what's going on because we didn't change to sudo. So press Control X again. Press N for no. So press up arrow key on your keyboard again. Then move your prompt all the way to the beginning. You know why we couldn't change that file?
No.
Because we didn't change to sudo. Remember when we type sudo su, that gives us like administrative privilege. So that's how we are able to run all of our commands. So no, leave the nano there. The nano is, you just need sudo before your command. So delete all that stuff, go move your prompt there and delete everything. So you have to use the arrow key. All right, then press up, arrow key. Press up again. Keep pressing up. I think because we deleted, it's not going to. Are you pressing up and it's not bringing down the command? So
yeah, it's not.
So it's because we deleted it. So you just have to type it. So it's sudo. You can either change to root. So I'll say type sudo su to change to root. Sudo space su. So that's going to change you to administrative privileges, right? That's going to change you to the root user. Press enter. All right, now you can run your command. Do you understand what we just did? right?
Um,
So basically what's going on is when you SSH into an EC2 instance, you can't just run any command on it. It wants you have to have administrative privilege to be able to run command on it. So in the case of that file, we were trying to change that file, and it is telling you that you don't have root privileges. By root, it just means administrative privilege to change that file. So that is why every time you see people SSH into the IC2 instance, the first thing they always do is change to root, where they always type that sudo su. So basically what I'm saying is anytime you run a command and it is telling you you don't have permission, remember that you just need to change to root. And that is the command to do that, the sudo su. So how sudo su work is you can either change to root by typing sudo su, or before any command you are trying to run, you type sudo before. They work the same way. But that sudo su will keep you in root. If you look over there, you have the $sign. Then when you change sudo su, you see they change to the £sign. That £sign is letting you know that you are in the root user. Does that make sense?
yes.
Okay. So remember, when you SSH into your EC2 instance, so that you don't run into any errors, right? When it will say you don't have permission to do something, you can type sudo su to change to root, and you will know you are in the root user when you see that £sign next to your command prompt. Or if you don't want to change to root, that way you will just have to put sudo next to every command you run. They work the same way. Okay, so now copy that nano from your command and paste it there, and it should work. Press enter. Then you'll just have to update your endpoint. All right, so I think that's all you need to change. So now press Control X and Y and enter. Okay, so run the last command so we just updated the file on your EC2 instance. So anytime you update a file, it's always good to restart your HTTPD server. So run that command. Press enter. Okay, now go and copy the IP of your There you go. So now you just have to install your site again. Enter your site name. It can be anything. Enter your username. So for your password, just make sure you use something you'll remember. So that way, I mean, it's not really that important, but just in case if you have to log into the site, just use something you remember. Yeah, that, You can check that.
That one?
Yeah. And install. And there you go. And you can log in. All right. So this is where, so this is what your site should look like, right? This is where some people make a lot of mistake. I say majority of the mistake in this area. So now that your site, we've configured it on the setup server, it is working, right? Let's do the next one, then I'll leave the rest to you to finish. So the next one is we need to configure the application load balancer, right? And use it to route traffic to our site. So I'll walk you through it, but then you can kind of like reference the video on that. So did you create the application load balancer in your account or?
No, I don't think I got to that point.
Okay, so let's create an application load balancer. So before we create an application load balancer, we have to create a target group. Yeah, so select target group.
Maybe I did.
Okay. So which one is it that one?
Yes.
Okay. But this one has
Still
two EC2 instances in it as unhealthy. So is it the one you were using for your Terraform project, or is this the WordPress one?
That's for the WordPress.
Okay. So let's select the target group first. Let's see what target group you have. Okay, remove those two EC2 instances from the target group. So select, you see the box up above where your mouse is? Yeah, you can do select both like that. That's fine too. And click the register. Click the register. Okay. So let's go to your EC2 console. And your instance is running. Select your instance is running. You know what we can do? On your Terraform code, since we already sort that out, or your code is fine, you just need to update your snapshot and your AMI. Run Terraform destroy in your Terraform code to remove those resources, because then you don't get charged for them.
Terraform destroy.
Mm-hmm. Type yes. Hello, Reed. So I have a Kubernetes project that is coming out. I think I'm editing it now, and I should be releasing it by the end of January or earliest first week of February. So I'm almost done with it, just putting some finishing touch to it. So yeah, that will be the next project that I'll be releasing. It's like a dynamic website on Kubernetes, and I can show you the reference architecture once I'm done here.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm responding to somebody's question on YouTube. And
okay.
And to join, if you want to join my program, I'll post the link here, and you can feel free to check it out, and if you're interested in signing up. Okay, so with Alex,
yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I bought the 6-month bootcamp, so will I be able to have access to the Kubernetes?
Oh yes.
When you
yes. So when I release it, it will automatically show up in your account.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the console. So I just wanted you to clean up this one. Okay, so let's try not to always leave all your EC2 instance running. So when you work on something, if you are done with it, try to remove them, because then you can rack up charges really very quick when you have a bunch of them running. So I'm not sure which one. I know your Terraform code will probably delete 2 of this. So let's just leave it for now. Once your Terraform code is done, we know we need the setup server, but I'm not sure the other ones, which one we need to delete. So let's just leave it for now. But when we are done, we'll clean up that. So let's launch another EC2 instance. And call it like a WordPress server or something. Sorry, I was typing something. Can you scroll up? Let me see what you've done so far. Amazon Linux 2. That's correct. Okay, keep going. Select your key pair. Okay. Then your network. I don't want to say your name wrong. Alex, I'm talking to someone on YouTube. So, yes, if you have the month-to-month subscription, yes, the Kubernetes project will also show up in your account. So you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay extra for it.
Easy one or
Okay, so this one, since you will put it in your private subnet, so any of your private app subnet. So for this one, your security group will be the web server security group. Okay. So the only thing we have to do here is under advanced details, we have to paste the script because what is going on is we've already installed our website and we transfer the file to the EFS. So for every EC2 instance we launch moving forward, we want to add the script into that EC2 instance that will install WordPress on that EC2 instance, and it will pull the WordPress file from the EFS. So that's what the script we are going to add here will do. Does that make sense? Because our WordPress code is already in the Elastic file system. Now that we are launching this new EC2 instance, we are not going to reconfigure WordPress on it anymore. We are just going to mount it to the EFS so that it can get the application code from the EFS. Does that make sense?
yes. Should I use the one
cool.
on Terraform?
So go to your WordPress project. In that application load balancer, there's a repository, there's a code repository for it that we have to use. So go to your resources for the WordPress project. So go to your library where I think you have it open where you had that WordPress project. No, not here, but like your AOS Node course library. So go up, press you see the tab next to this. Your AOS Node course library.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, your course library. Okay. So we've done the setup server, right? Which project is it? Go to the WordPress. Yeah, this is a WordPress project. So go to the next page. I think it's on the next page. Yeah, on that too. And the application load balancer, the resources should be there. So create an application load balancer. So go to the description.
Should I update that one?
So click copy. Yeah, you will update exactly. You will update it. So click that box to copy it and paste it in your Visual Studio Code. So for every code reference I give you, just copy it out of my repository. Have your own organized file, like paste it in Visual Studio Code. So what I would do is, you've already ran this code, you know it works. You can either put it at the bottom or create another file, paste it in there. So for each of the project, when you've tested the command and they work, try to have your own organized folder for that project, that you have your script in there that you already tested, that you know works. So yeah, you can paste it here. Then you have to update your EFS information. So leave this. Okay, you're trying to copy it from here. That's fine. Yep. Perfect. So now you can copy everything here up to the bin bash. Now, your code will not work. So anytime you are trying to run a script on your EC2 instance, you need that bin bash thing on it. Right. So that's all we need. Then click launch. Okay. Then launch your instance where we can go in it, like select it. Select your instance ID, or we just need to see it running. So you see your instance ID there, you can select it. Yeah. So the next thing, your instance is running. So we created an EC2 instance, right? The next thing we need to do is add this EC2 instance to your target group so that your application load balancer can route traffic to it. So go to your target group. Select your target group for this project. Select it. Then click register targets. Then we want to register, you have a couple of instances running, but we only want to register the WordPress one. Yeah, that one. So once you select that one, scroll down and click include as pending below. Then click register targets. Okay. So now you already created your load balancer and everything. So let's go to your load balancer. So before you go to your load balancer, in your target group here, scroll down. So in your target group here, the same screen you are on, move your mouse to the right and scroll down in there. So we want to scroll down, refresh. Let's see, because you have one target, so we should be able to see it. Scroll down. Move your mouse to the right. Let's see. So drag that out. 403. It's probably because your script is still running. So we'll wait a little bit. 403 means it's just you don't have access to something. But I think it's probably because your script is still running. We'll wait a couple of minutes, then we will. While we are waiting for that, let me review your application load balancer. So go to your load balancer and select it. Okay. So for subnets, so you have two subnets. Click on each link of that subnet. It's going to open it in a new tab. I just want to see the subnet you created it in. Okay, public subnet is 2. That's fine. Then click on the second one. Close this one and click on the second link. Okay, that's right. Then close that link, close that tab, and so let me check your security group. It's over there. So on this page you are on the, no, not that one. Press back to go back to the previous page for your load balancer. Okay, scroll down on this page. You will see the security tab. There's a security section over there. Okay, your application load balancer security, cool. Then scroll up, let's check your target group again. I know it's going to go healthy, but it's just because you are probably still installing WordPress and all that stuff. So that's why it's saying all that.
Yeah, it's good.
There you go. Let's see. So, right. Okay. Now you can go to your load balancer and copy the DNS name of your load balancer. So your load balancer, right? So you see load balancer, I said, yeah, DNS. So you see right next to it, down there. So, yeah. There you go. So you can see you can access your site. It's working now from your private subnet, but so let me explain the difference. So the difference is this is your site. This is like when your customers, let's say this is a site for your customers, right? When your customers are accessing your WordPress site, this is what they will see, right? But if you want to do admin work on your site, which is why when you were installing WordPress, you created the username and password for WordPress. So I think in there you have to type on this page, first copy your URL, the one that is there, copy it, select it and copy it. No, don't cut it, just click copy. Then do Okay. Then after it, enter /WP admin. I think is so this is how to go into the admin side of your WordPress site. So now you have to enter your username and your password. So the main important thing I want to explain here is, remember the first time we installed WordPress, right? And it's perfect on the I think you closed the maybe not. So the first time we installed WordPress, right? We installed it on your setup server and we were able to access it using the IP of your setup server. So that's why when you look in your URL, you are seeing your IP there, right? Your IP of your EC2 instance IP.
Yes.
In the URL there, right? So now the URL of your site has changed from the EC2 to the DNS of your load balancer. Because we created a load balancer, we add our server to it. Now our end users will use the DNS of our load balancer to access like whatever our site, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is anytime your DNS change, you must also go into your WordPress setting and update it there. So that's why we are logging into the WordPress thing now. So I think it's been a while since I worked on this project. So I think so in this page, if you go to settings, go down to settings, and I think it's general. Okay. So here you want to you can see right now your site URL is your IP, not there. Under WordPress URL and site URL. You can say it is your IP, so you want to update it to your DNS of your load balancer. So paste what you copied there and do the same thing up there. Okay, then save it. And you're going to have to enter your username and your password again, just to confirm it. Right, so we've done that. So basically you understand what I just explained, right? So
Yes.
you know the next step is you're going to configure your Route 53 record, right? Then at that point, your domain name is going to change from the DNS to whatever your domain name is, right? So once you do that, once you create your e-record, remember what I said, you have to log in as the admin. All that instruction is in the videos, right? You log in as admin and don't forget to go and update your site URL. Because if you don't do that, then your site, that's how your site gets messed up like the first one.
And on step 18, I see launch bashing host. Is that another EC2?
Yeah, that's just another EC2 that allows you to connect to your private instance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would still need the previous EC2s.
Oh, so now you don't need okay, let's look at your EC2 console. So we've installed your site. So your WordPress site, now you can terminate the first three EC2 instances. Your WordPress server is the one, your setup server, and website server is it too. So those three, the first three, you can terminate them. Okay, so now you can continue the course pretty much follow the instruction, you should be fine moving on now. Because the only thing you have to do now is creating your record set and setting up your SSL and all that stuff. So all the instructions are in the video.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let me know if you have any other questions.
Oh, and last question. I understand that on LinkedIn, a lot of people are doing projects such as migration. I don't know if you are going to do that as well.
Migration. I'll look into it. If I find like a good project to work that we can work on, I will work on it. So there's so many different type of migration you can be doing. You can be doing migration of like files. You can be doing migration of the server itself, the application. It could be database. So it comes in different form. So for me in the course, I try to focus on the core skills that you need to be a cloud engineer, right? So pretty much everything I'm showing you guys in the project, these are skills that I use on a day-to-day basis at work. So when it comes to your learning, especially at this stage, it is best, even if other people are saying they are doing this and that, it's best for you to focus on the important skills that you need to have as a cloud engineer and have those down. Then once you understand those, you can always do additional projects on your own. So my goal is to get you to a point where you have a good understanding of the concepts, how to do certain things. Then you can take whatever the knowledge you've gained and build on those knowledge expand on that knowledge by working on other projects of your own. So your knowledge does not stop here. Here is just to enlighten you and give you a good foundational knowledge, but you still have to keep expanding on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am working on like I'm trying to do a project every 3 days, so that way I'll be able to get through all of them and work on them again. So
Correct.
just trying to build up my skills.
Good. So make sure when you are working on those projects that you understand by the time you are done with the project, you can redeploy the project again on your own. If you run into any issue, you are able to troubleshoot the issue on your own. That is how you will know that your knowledge is improving and that you are pretty much, you can work in anyone's environment. You understand? So I always emphasize, don't complete the project just to complete it, but I care more that when you complete the project, you understand what you've done and you can redeploy the application or a different application on your own. So
yes.
Yeah.
And I always document the project so that way.
Good. Yeah, that's also a good practice.
Yes.
Cool.
All right.
So thank you, Alex.
So much.
No problem. I'll speak to you soon.
Yes.
All right. Bye. Okay. Responding to YouTube comments. So the 6 months program is not lifetime access. So maybe I should share my screen and I can show you guys. So this is on my course site. When you come to this page, so I have the bootcamp here, and you can see if you want to join 6 months and a year is here. These are subscription based, meaning that every 6 months you can either choose to renew it or not. So these are subscription. So you will have access to all the projects in your account for the duration of your subscription. So any new projects that are also released during those times, you also have access to it. And if you want lifetime access, so any of these courses that are here, these are the individual courses, right? If you get any of this course, this gives you lifetime access. So the subscription are not lifetime access, but any of these courses down here, the individual courses, when you buy it, you get lifetime access. Corey, thank you. Thank you. I'm always happy to have you guys here, and always looking forward to hearing you guys' feedback. I'm glad you guys find values in my videos. I mean, just to tell you guys, wherever you feel your learning journey is now, or wherever you are starting from, right? I also started from the same place. So you can learn cloud. There's really not anything difficult about it. But what I would say is, as long as you have a good, proper guide and you take your time, you can certainly learn cloud. It's all about building one skill at a time. And once you guys learn one concept, build the skills, learn another concept, build the skills. All those skills is what turns into one big skill set. So that is pretty much how I learned cloud. And literally all the things I did to learn is what I'm sharing with you guys. So I'm always very happy to find out that you guys find values in the videos. Thank you. You know, just look at it as timing. You'll get a job at your own time, you know. The main thing you have to do is, while you are waiting for your opportunity to get interview, right? Make sure you are doing your part in building your skill set and preparing for that opportunity. Because when that opportunity comes, right, you want to be prepared. You don't want to get to the interview and they're asking you simple questions about AWS and that you can answer. So I wouldn't say it's either, I'm not going to say it's hard or easy to get a job, because the tech field is very in demand right now, right? There's still more jobs than more engineers, right? So they in the tech field, they still need a lot of engineers to build their skill set so they can fill the position. So just look at it like you'll get the job at the right time for you. But while you are waiting for that opportunity, continue to build your skill sets. That's what I'll say. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. And this is just a troubleshooting session that I'm having with one of the students that are in my course. So which is one of the things I offer when you work on my projects and you are subscribed to my bootcamp. While you are working on those projects, I try to make myself available to answer any questions you have and help you troubleshoot when you do have issues with the project. So this is just a brief glance to what my program is like. And I've scheduled it this way because I also transitioned from a non-tech background to cloud engineer, and now I work as a DevOps engineer. I understand when I was learning, I didn't have a mentor, and there wasn't barely information online at that time. So part of what inspired me to even start this platform is because when I worked on something and it worked, I started helping people that I was close to. Then I started posting it on YouTube. So that was what started this whole thing. So my goal is just to, as I learn something new, I'm always more than happy to share with you guys. So if you are interested in joining, the link is in this video's description. And thank you guys, all of you guys that joined today. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a nice day.